Hello, everybody. This is Pastor David and Sister Michelle from New Joy Church, Pastor David Manjares, and my wonderful wife, Michelle. And what we're going to do tonight is a little bit different. But before we get into that, I want to encourage you all to if you don't have a home church, consider New Joy Church. Consider New Joy Church. We're a good bunch of people, and if you don't have a home church, find a home church. New Joy Church is a great church, and if you haven't been back to church since the COVID and all that, go back to your church. Find your church and go back and enjoy it, and let the Spirit of the Lord speak to you. This Sunday, Daniel Rodriguez is going to be speaking. He's going to be talking about what it means to be an empowered warrior. So it should be really good. Well, I know it's going to be good. Daniel does a great job.
Yes, amen.
So, amen. But before we do that, let's pray, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do. Heavenly Father, thank you for tonight. Thank you for what you have in store for those that are going to be watching this. May they be encouraged and strengthened, and may they see something that may benefit their lives, their homes, and their marriages. And we will be careful to always give you thanks and praise in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Well, last week was October the 20th. What happened on October the 20th?
48 years ago, we got married.
48 years ago, we got married, you and me. That's pretty cool, honey. I'm glad I married you. I hope you're glad you married me.
Sometimes.
Sometimes she's glad. But that's what happened. 48 years ago, we got married. So I canceled the Bible study because we decided to spend the entire day together. It was a Wednesday night and we went to the show. We had popcorn. We had dinner, and we just had a good time together. Was it a perfect day?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Oh, it wasn't? Okay.
No, it wasn't a perfect day. It was a perfect day. We had one little argument, but we solved it quick and go on and made the day continued. But here's the thing that I was thinking about. Why don't we just one day just sit down and just talk about marriage? Talk about what happened in our lives and how that over the years, how let me ask you this question. This is the question. How can you stay married for 48 years? Now, there's a lot of different variables. And now don't get me wrong now. Those of you watching, if you've been divorced and if you're on your second marriage, and I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not trying to tell you we're better than you. But I'm going to tell you what we did to keep our marriage together. And if you are on your second, even your third marriage, if you listen, you might find something that'll help you to keep your relationship going forward. Now, that also, well, I'm not married. What if you're not married and you want to be married? This is going to help you too. Someday you want to get married. I hope there's young people watching that are not married. I hope my adult grandchildren would watch this so they could hear about their grandma and their papa and what they did to keep their marriage going. Well, let's start way back at the beginning. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
This is how we started way, way back in the beginning. Back then, I was we met at the Rainbow Ballroom. A lot of you guys already know that. We won't get into all that.
Yeah.
We met at the Rainbow Ballroom. I had a gig at Fresno State, so I left, and I didn't stay that evening and dance with her. I would have, that's for sure. But I had a gig, so I left. But that was in January. In February the 22nd?
Yes, 22nd.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
You remember.
February 22nd, we met again at a party. We won't go into the details of the party and what she said and I said and what we did. We won't talk about that. But we met at a party, and from that moment, well, she went to the party with a bunch of girls and an old friend of mine that I didn't know was a friend of hers named Mike Martinez. Mike Martinez was a great guitar player and a very, very good friend. So I told her, well, you don't have to go home in that crowded car. I'll take you home. And I took her home. I found out where she lived. I got her phone number. And then I became her stalker. I did. I was just smitten. I was mesmerized. This young girl, this teenage girl, we were both teenagers.
Yeah, we were
I
both
think at that
teenagers.
time you were 16 and I was 18.
Yes.
Sound about right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we were teenagers. But I became obsessed with her. I couldn't get her out of my mind. She wasn't anything like any other girl I ever met. But little did I know at that time, okay, I won't say it. At that time, I just wanted her as my girlfriend. I wasn't thinking about the future. I wasn't thinking about living our lives together forever, happily ever after and all that kind of stuff. She was
She was?
She is. There she goes again. She got me. She's a
waiting for
fox,
you.
man. No. Let me tell you how.
Right. Yeah.
She is come here, baby. She's a stone cold fox. And I. Oh man, I think the next day I called. It was a Friday night, right? We met on a Friday night.
We met Friday
The
night,
next Saturday, I called her like 10 or 11 times because I wanted to take her out. I wanted to be with her, to start a relationship. And from that moment on, we started dating, and then we fell in love. We got married in October of the same year. So we started dating in February of 1973, and we got married October 20th, 1973. That's not the way to start a marriage.
No,
That's not the
definitely
way to start a marriage. But little did I know back then that God had brought her into my life for a reason. Now, I wasn't serving Christ at the time, but I did, at the age of 12, I did have an experience with God that I knew that I needed to be close to Him. But then I was a kid. So I acted like a kid I still act like a kid. So that's my side of the story. What's your side?
Oh, what do you mean?
Tell us what you thought of. What was going on when you met me?
Well, when I first met you, they had my friends that I was with. They were telling me, "Oh man, he's a good-looking guy. He's got a lot of money." I go, "Introduce me." And when they did, I said, "Oh man."
That's cold, Sister Michelle. That is
So,
cold.
And you had invited us to go to Fresno State, and everybody else
Yeah.
and myself didn't want to go, and I will just stay at the Rainbow because
Yeah.
we'll just stay there. Then when we met again, I went up and you were playing in the band. I said, "Hey, aren't you David Monjadas?" Because I remember we had met, and we started talking there.
Yep.
And then you did take me home, and you called me, but I wasn't there because I was at a fundraiser.
Yeah.
For our Metcha Club for McLean. So my brother, he kept teasing me when I got back. "Oh, Michelle, David Monjadas called you, not once, not twice." He was just ragging me on, and I says,
I called a lot that day.
"Yeah." And I said, "Gosh, I told him I wasn't going to be home." That's how much he listens to me.
Some things never change.
I had told him that Friday night that I had to go home because I had a fundraiser. It was we were selling baked goods in front of a store. I don't even remember what store, but yeah. So he pursued, and all the time in high school. Oh yeah, in high school, I went to McLean. Boys used to like me, and I used to tell them, "Nope, I'm not going to be your girlfriend because I only date college guys." Because I didn't like any of the guys that I went to school. They were good friends. I talked to them, but I didn't want to be their girlfriend. So they called me uppity.
Uppity. I was in college. I was at Fresno City College when we met. So I was a college guy, so you kept your word.
So I thought, well, maybe this is the one I've been talking about because, I had not met anybody that college material, and since you told me your goals and what you wanted to do, I said, possibilities.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Why a college guy? Why didn't you say, "So I'm just looking for somebody good looking or somebody who's got money"? Why do you think you said that? Do you know?
Well, Yeah. I said, I am not going to marry someone that's going to take me out in the grape fields and pick grapes for clothes like my mom and dad made us. I said, no way. So I'd have somebody with education to have a better job than to go pick grapes.
So she was thinking. Yeah. So what happened was, who's the first college guy you met?
You were, man.
I was the first college man that she met. And God had a plan for us to be together forever, and that's what we're doing. We're together, and so to take on the next trip down the road, we had a rough time.
Yeah.
You know, we really did fall in love, and I know that Michelle really deeply loved me, and she actually was afraid that I was going to leave her.
Yeah,
she thought that she always built up kind of this defense that. You're not going to hurt me because you're going to leave me, but here's the thing about that. And now I'm talking to you married couples that are married right now and have children. One of the things that really was an influence I think in both of us, is our parents. Well, my mom and dad, they were married for 56 years before my dad died, something like that.
No, 60.
60 years?
Yeah, because we had a 60th anniversary.
Okay, for over 60 years they were married. And they set an example to me that you marry, and you stay together. Now, I know that some of you have had some very rough times and parents haven't stayed together, and that's damaging. But on Michelle's side, her parents were married until, Roy passed away. They stayed together through thick and thin. I think that sets an example to our girls. Our girls are married, and their marriages aren't perfect, and their spouses aren't perfect, and they're not perfect. But they're committed to each other, and they're going to stay together, and that's what I think is so important. See, God's committed to us for our benefit in our lives and even our eternity. And when we set that kind of an example, that no matter what, we're not going to give up, that is passed on to the children and to the grandchildren. I love being with my grandchildren. I love joking with them, but I also love sneaking in the Word of God and investing in them and talking to them. And so it does make it, it's so important. So we got married way too young. In fact, I was told recently that maybe I was shouldn't have married her for so young because she was so young. I was 19, she was 17, and she had to her parents had to go in and sign some papers so they giving her permission to marry me legally because technically she was a minor and I was a legal adult. But here's the thing. Can we get into why we decided to get married?
Yeah.
Sure, I know.
We're not the only ones.
Yeah. Well, we finally made the decision that quickly because Michelle became pregnant. And so we decided, and that back in the day, that's what we did. We never, at least I didn't, I don't know about you, but I never considered abortion as an option. No. Never. So, but I did understand that I'm going to take responsibility for my decision to have a sexual relationship with Michelle, and that's what happens. So she got pregnant. But I remember going and asking her dad for her hand in marriage. Very hard thing. There's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And was it my dad was behind the paper, or was it your dad?
My dad.
Your dad. So he had the Fresno Beat. Did he have headphones on too?
Yes, he did. But he heard every word you said.
Her dad Roy would watch TV, read the paper, and listen to the Dodgers on his headphones. He's an amazing man. Talk about multitask.
Yes.
Before multitasking was popular. And so when I went to go ask, he had the paper up, he had his headphones on, he never once looked at me. And I asked for her hand in marriage, and he said this, why? basically he says, "Why do you want to marry her?" And he knew she was pregnant. And I said, "Because I love her." And that's why. I had fallen in love with his daughter, and I wanted to make it right. So, and that seemed to be good. I don't remember what happened when we talked. We both went and talked to my parents, right? Do you remember? No, we didn't. Oh, I did all by myself.
Yeah, you had to tell your parents.
You chickened out.
No, I told my parents, and you told it.
About being pregnant, but not about getting married.
Oh, no.
I went and asked for your hand.
Yeah, I remember you did.
So, just all that. We'll get. Long story short, we'll get all past that. We started our marriage, and man, the first first couple of years, it was wonderful. It was awesome because at that honeymoon time, and we were young and excited. We were together in a nasty little apartment on College in Belmont.
620
North College?
North College, Apartment B.
Apartment B. So, and man, it was like, to me, this is the greatest thing that ever happened. I remember during the summer, I would sit out and crank up Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes on my 8-track and just blast it out the window. And college students, it was a 4 apartments.
4 apartments.
And we would just all be hanging out, and it was, but things got rough. I was in college. Michelle was still in high school, and we're trying to make ends meet, and it was tough.
It was.
And we had some very, very hard times. And I found out later, I did not realize how much your family helped us financially, and they really did. They helped us. They didn't carry us, and we didn't move into their house to take care of us. But they did help us more than I even knew and realized. But that's the kind of support that we should be giving our family members. We shouldn't be kicking them to the curb. Hey, you wanted a baby? Go ahead. You want to get married? See how it is out there in the real world. No, I would never do that. But so we had some rough times, and we were in danger of breaking up from time to time.
Well, I think because we were so young, we kind of, since we got married so young, I think we grew up together, helping each other out because we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, we didn't.
I had a ring on my finger. Yeah, my last name changed, but I was still a kid.
We didn't know. We were just kids. So we did grow up together, and that's true.
Believe that. Yeah.
That's really true. I was going to say something, and I just kind of forgot because that's a good point. But see, we grew up together. Listen, what I'm going to say. We grew up together, but we never gave up. We grew up. We had to change, and we made a lot of changes, but we never gave up. We were committed to this relationship and to this marriage. So. And then we did move in with my parents here at 1916 South Price when we decided to buy a home.
No, baby. We moved in here because I was going to have Leticia because we had a miscarriage on our first.
Yeah, the first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage.
Yes.
Yeah. So, really? That's why? I thought we'd save money to buy a house.
No, that's the second time we moved in here. The first time was Leticia because, I was still young. I didn't know. We didn't know how to take care of a little baby.
No, we didn't.
So your mom and dad allowed us to come in, and your mom helped me. That's why Leticia and your mom were so close, because your mom did a lot for her, trying to teach me what to do as a mother. Yeah.
So that's again, the family support is so important.
It is.
I don't know where your family is today, but man, support each other. Yes. Were my parents disappointed in me? Yes. Were Michelle's parents mad at me for a while? Yes. But they never gave up on us, man. That's so important. So important today that we stick together as a family. But that goes into the family of God. We stick together as the family of God. So the second time, she got me through school, and I got a job and started working. I was still playing in the world. I played with several groups out there. I played with Monsanto for a long time, and Taurus. Hey, my
Guitars.
compa Tomas and Greg. I hope you're watching. they're
Those are fun times.
wonderful, wonderful people. Yeah, we had a lot of fun times, but we had a lot of struggles. And so the second time we moved in to buy a house, and then we ended up buying the house on Ashcroft, and we moved in over there. And God has these really cool ways of working things out. I had a call on my life to be a minister at the age of 12. God called me, but I didn't know what that was, and at the time, we didn't know. So we ended up around the corner from David Garrity. I know I jumped up a ways, but because I want to get to the religious, I should say the religious part, our relationship with Jesus Christ and all that. So we ended up on Ashcroft, and David and Gloria Garrity, ended up just around the corner, up to Phelan and around the corner. I think they were they on Indianapolis or Phelan? Doesn't matter.
They were on Phelan.
They were on Phelan. So and so we knew David from playing in the bands, and he played congas, and we had a lot of fun together. But he had given his life to Christ. Gloria and David had started going to People's Church. They gave their life to Christ, and he started witnessing to us for a year and a half. And I know I've told portions of this story before, so I will just make it quick.
Yeah.
So after a year and a half, we gave our lives to Christ together in our living room. Michelle was working at Fresno County EOC, and I was teaching school and probably still working with Tim McFarland.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim McFarland at American Music Company and playing, and things changed dramatically. Every gig that I wanted, I had plenty of gigs. We were making good money, but all of a sudden, now that I gave my life to Christ, I couldn't get in a band. I couldn't find a gig. Everything dried up because God wanted to remove me from that atmosphere playing in. And those of you brothers that are still playing, hey man, God bless you. I'm not upset at all about what happened here.
Like the power went out.
I don't know what happened. We just kind of had a little power outage over here. Looks like it's still going. All right, we're cool. But anyway, I couldn't get a gig. But we went back to the Catholic Church, and it just didn't. You want to check to see if he's still on? It just wasn't working. So we started going to the People's Church. And then this whole new life began. And we started going to church and trying to get our lives together, and starting to learn. And it was difficult. You're talking about a dramatic change in lifestyle. Now, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to play in the clubs anymore. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that, but until I became a mature Christian. Those of you that are working musicians, I got your back. You guys that are working musicians that believe in Jesus Christ and follow him, that's where you make your livelihood. Keep it up. You are a representative of Jesus Christ at every gig you have. Those of you that are struggling with your relationship with Christ and you're still playing, and that focus is so important to you, you probably need to check yourself. You probably need to say, you know what? Maybe I should back off on the music for a while, get myself solid, so that way I won't be a hindrance to people, but I can share the gospel with people. I played gigs after I became a mature Christian. Then I could go back and have gigs and play gigs and stuff like that. But the thing is, we struggled, and we started looking for churches. And being a musician, we got placed into leadership positions that we weren't really prepared for, because you're a musician, you got to play, you got a gig,
right,
and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of tough. But the one thing is that we decided was to raise our children in church.
Yes.
We decided to look. If I'm coming to church, and Michelle wants to go to church, the girls, they didn't have a choice. one thing that used to make me mad but now breaks my heart is when a parent will say, well, I want them to make the decision for themselves. Really? You got a 10, 12-year-old and you tell them, oh, you know what? You need to make your own decisions in life, so go to the kitchen and decide what you want for breakfast. Rocky Road ice cream. They're not mature enough to make that decision. Let me tell you something. 15-year-olds are not mature enough to make that decision. I know some 24-year-olds that are not mature enough to make that decision. And every once in a while, I'll run into a real mature 30-something-year-old. Immature, I should say. So, yeah. Don't tell the kids that, you don't have to go to church. That's your decision. No, you tell them, look, I want to put you in an environment that's going to help you. Staying home watching cartoons will not help you. Now, Mom, Dad. Mom, if you're coming to church, thank you. Praise God. Dad, if you're not coming to church, come to church. Set an example for your children. One of the things that my parents did, my dad did. Look, my mom and my dad both went to church together every Sunday. Our home, we went to church, and they set that wonderful example. And I know that that's part of why it was easy for me to make the rule. Everybody's going to church. Even when we go on vacation, we're going to church. Mm-hmm. It's so important. So, Dad, come to church. I'm embarrassed. Well, go to somebody else's church. If you came to New Joy Church and you say, well, I've missed too much and I'm embarrassed, you need to come back. You need to get over yourself, because we don't play that at New Joy Church. But dads, you need to come and set that example of a godly man, and that wife will stand by you and appreciate you. What you got?
Now, I remember when you read the scripture verse, as for me and my house, we'll serve the Lord. You made it a point because, number one, you were head of household, and that we were going to church. Right. Of course, if you were sick, of course, we stayed home. But, but that's one thing that we took very, not lightly. We did it was almost like our work. Because you know what? We go to work because we get a paycheck. But we went to church because it was feeding our spirit. Amen. And people don't take that lightly, because you need to fill up every week.
Amen. Amen. So men, be the leader. Well, I'm the man of the house. Well, then be the man, and take your family to church on a regular basis.
And I wasn't a happy camper because we didn't go to church. My family, we only went to church on holy days of obligation as a Catholic, like Ash Wednesday, Easter, Christmas. Can't think of anything. Oh, Palm Sunday, maybe. But so when he decided that we had to go to church, I didn't really want to, because God, Sunday is the day we rest. Well, Saturday too, but Sunday is supposed to get you prepared for Monday work. Amen. And I didn't see the benefits at the beginning. Yeah, sometimes I got mouth ache. Do we have to go again? And I was saying that as I climbed in the car going to church. Yeah. But then I realized what I was saying wasn't setting a good example for my daughters. So I had to keep it inside me, even though.
Amen. One of the things that the result of me putting, laying the law down, and however you want to think about it, I don't care. But the result of that, years after, I have been so blessed by it. Our daughter Davia is in the worship team. She's at church every Sunday. Her son Elijah is in the sound booth every Sunday. My daughter Leticia does not hesitate to call for prayer. She calls her mom every day, but then when there's time, she's going through some physical things right now, and she calls her dad, and her dad prays. I pray for her. I pray for my grandchildren when they're sick. I love them. It's worth the investment. That's the thing. It's not, well, do we always have to go to church? That's not it. What Michelle says is true, is you are getting stuff that you need. You're getting the Word of God and concepts and ideas and the power of God moving in your life that will benefit you for all eternity. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't you want to go to church? You know, it breaks my heart that people are taking church so lightly, but then they suffer for it and don't even realize that they may have missed out on concepts and skills and blessings that will help them get through the hard times that they're going through right now. So,
and no marriage is perfect.
No.
Every marriage is going to have ups and downs, but the key to the ups and downs is how you handle your ups and downs.
Right.
Because let's face it, my grandson told me I have no patience. I says, of course I don't have no patience. I know that. But Dave has the patience that I don't have. But sometimes he doesn't even have the patience. It seems like we offset each other. When he doesn't have patience, I have the patience. When he's
I'm so glad you brought that up. I really am. Because in the real world, you know how they say opposites attract. For you to have a magnet to come together, you need a positive and a negative for them to come together and stay together and make this strong bond. It's the same thing in marriage. Michelle is entirely different than I am. We're opposites. She's very analytical. She's got this brilliant mind that I'm going to tell you something about Michelle. I've known people with bachelor's of arts, masters, even doctorates that are not as smart as Michelle. Because you got book learning, just look at your life and what you're doing. Okay, I shouldn't have said it that way. Yeah. But I don't care. Michelle is brilliant. She's got this, but I'm the touchy-feely guy. I'm the artiste. So I'm the artist, and I feel it, and those are necessary. Mm-hmm. You need both. You need that person that's the 2 + 2 = 4, those nuts and bolts and all that kind of stuff. But children and families need that person to take the role as being the nurturer or whatever. And here's the thing. I don't know about Michelle, but I never got mad that she didn't feel the way I felt. I take that back. I did get mad sometimes, but I realized, hey, she's different. So why should she? But she's for me, I appreciated her difference, her being different. But for her, she would get mad that I didn't think like she did.
Yes.
And have you taught me how to think like Michelle yet?
No. That's a lost cause.
Yeah. Because I'm going to be David. And you know what? Why don't you let your husband be your husband? Why don't you let your wife be your wife? And then together we're strong together. We're stronger together. Mm. And so it's important that you appreciate your differences. Mm. You know, here's the funny thing. Michelle is brilliant at taking care of the bills and getting on her 10 key, and she loves numbers. Mm-hmm. But I can decipher numbers in my head better than she can. Yeah. And I hate numbers. I don't like numbers. Mm-hmm. The numbers equal something like calories. What do you mean I can't eat all those calories? So there's numbers are evil, but no, they're not. But yeah, appreciate your differences. I thank God. Let me put it this way. I thank God Michelle is not just like me. because that would have been a mess, man. And I thank God that I'm not like her,
Yes.
because we would have been at each other and
All the time.
all the time.
More than
Because
usual.
we see, yeah. I'm more all these vivid colors, and Michelle's black or white. That's it,
That's
black
it.
or white. But so appreciate each other. You know, husband, you need to tell your wife, everyone, I thank you for the differences, because you make us better, because you're not exactly like me. Wife, you need to stop putting your husband down because he don't think like you do, and he doesn't process things like you do. You need that difference of opinion. You need that different viewpoint in order to have a stronger, healthier relationship and family. Because for me, and where I'm at in my age, I want my daughters and their husbands to get stronger and closer and better. I want my grandchildren to continue to grow and grow in the, not only in knowledge and wisdom and in the schoolings and all that stuff, and get a good job. I want them to have a good job, but I also want them to grow up in the Lord, to know that God's hand's upon them, and that they can be strong in the Lord, and then we all end up with this one wonderful time of reunion in heaven with my parents. I really didn't know my grandparents. I knew Uncle Mac, and but that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to lay a foundation. We're sharing you guys our heart, but also trying to lay a solid foundation for you.
I do want to say that one of the strong keys in a marriage is communication. I know it seems like Dave does all the talking, but he don't behind closed doors. He is, he has to allow the communications open for both of us,
Right.
to share what's on our hearts, even when we don't like to hear it. Especially me, I've always been on the defensive, even when we first got married, because him playing in bands, there are always women throwing themselves at him. So I always felt that he was going to leave me, and I wanted to have the upper hand. He's not going to leave me, I'm going to leave him. So I was all really on guard, which was a terrible way of living. That was the downs. But the goods were, he was a good man. He took care of us. He did everything that I wanted, most of the time. Not all the time, but most.
And there's sometimes that we just don't agree.
Yeah.
We have an opinion or a thought about something, and we just don't agree. And I'll just give you a simple example. Michelle likes those true life stories, those investigative stories. That guy that's trying to get away with murder and all that kind of. Those to her are very interesting to her, and me, I like to laugh. I want to have a nice comedy, a feel good TV show or movie, and sometimes I just say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and watch TV with her. And when it gets late at night, I try to stop watching those things because it does interrupt my sleep. But, so she'll watch a movie with me that makes her, that she'll laugh at just because she's doing it for me, even though we don't agree.
Yeah.
We don't like the same foods. Back in the day, Michelle could eat pizza every day. Back in the day,
Not anymore.
pizza and hamburgers, but I like different things, and I'll try anything once as far as food goes, but we never, she would make only one time that it really blew up into this big fight. We were in San Luis Obispo. You don't remember going to San Luis Obispo? We were going on vacation.
Yeah.
And we went into, I don't know if it was a Sizzlers or a Skipper's or some kind of a restaurant. And
It was a Skipper's.
It was a Skipper. So she ordered, and the girls were small.
Yes.
She ordered, I don't know what, a hamburger or whatever it was. I ordered a sampler plate, and I want all this different, because I like fish. So I got this plate, and she brought, the waitress brought out this big old gigantic platter for me of fish. And what did you say?
I said, oh my God, it smells like fish in here.
No, you said it stinks. Thank you.
It stinks.
She says, it stinks. Man, I'm excited. I want to eat this big old plate of fish. It stinks.
And
So
what did you do?
what did I do? I grabbed my plate. I got so mad, but instead of yelling at her and starting a big old fight in this restaurant, I grabbed my plate and I found myself my own table. And I took off, Jack. I go, I'm going to sit down here. And that was the angriest dinner I ever had. I was mad. But I'm going to eat my fish, and now you can't smell it because I ain't sitting with you no more.
Yeah. The girls just looked at me, Mom, what's going on? Never mind. Just eat.
Just
eat your dinner.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have all those kind of things,
Yeah.
and
we still have time. We do disagree on things now. And with our house, both him with the open heart and me with kidney problems and diabetes, and we're not always feeling good.
Yeah.
I don't wear it on I try not to wear it on me, but my bones hurt every single day, and because they hurt so much, my tolerance level is very, very low when it comes to, when you're not feeling good, it's very easy to get upset at little things that don't matter.
Yeah.
Like I've been here, I've been having a pity party because of all the hard work I've been doing, and Dave had his meeting with his pastors today, and then he went to go pick up Aubrey, and a big bell in my head went off and saying, you know what, you've been having a pity party for yourself all this time, and David is contributing. He's driving and picking up Aubrey every day from school. He takes Elijah to City College twice a week. He's doing what he can do, and you got to do what you need to do. And there's got to be that peace within me, because I don't think he's struggling with.
Oh yeah, I'm struggling with my health, of course.
Yeah, well, yeah, your health, but I'm talking about how I feel, because you don't feel the way I do.
No, I'm okay. Yeah. But but the thing is, what we need to do is to be sympathetic towards each other, empathetic, in that we would support each other. And when Michelle has those things, I don't think I've ever told you to get over it.
No, you haven't.
No. But I want to support you and encourage you. And sometimes I'm upset, and because she's upset at me. And of course, you're going to have those times. But we never take our feelings out on each other. We have these rough times, and who doesn't? And yeah, we'll start a fight, but we don't continue to fight. That's the
not
key.
like we used to when we were younger.
So stop those fights as fast as you can, and that goes way back to God spoke to me one day. He says, "Do you want to be right all the time, or do you want to have peace?" As I chose peace, because blessed are the peacemakers. Mm-hmm. Michelle saw that I was right sometimes, and it was really pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But it's getting late, and we've been talking a lot. It's been fun, honey. I've had a good time. Time went really, really fast, but I think it's probably enough for tonight, and we'll pick it up, because probably not next week, but maybe in a couple of weeks, I want to go into talking about senior living. What has changed because of age? Yes. So we're going to talk about that. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a night of just Michelle and I sharing. And everything that we shared is because God has been in our lives, and we've been able to stay together this long. and we're going to continue to stay together until our twilight years in the 80s. We got some years to go still, baby. So I love you.
I love you too.
And I know. So, and those of you that are watching, I hope that this was a blessing. Maybe you might want to share this with a couple that needs to hear some encouraging words. And what you saw is what you see is what you get. This is me and Michelle. We don't put on airs and hide anything from anybody. So, but anyway, I hope you were blessed. We're gonna call it a night. So God bless you, Father. Thank you. You get something? Oh, Father, thank you for tonight, and thank you for Michelle's desire to be so open and honest and share from her heart. May those who have watched and are maybe watching in the future, tomorrow or whenever, that they would be encouraged and blessed, and that their marriages will become stronger because you have made us strong. And I praise you and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. God bless you all. Peace.